Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a combined On the Mark TV and radio and Superintendent Spotlight program here from Westfield Community Programming, 89.5 FM WSKB, and our media partners at Agawam Media and Southwick Community Television. I'm Mark Auerbach here with Stefan Czaporowski. We are live on stage at the gym at Westfield River Elementary School, the new elementary school in Westfield, Massachusetts.
We are.
Stefan,
good morning.
You've been talking about this school for several years, and here it is finally up and running, and you brought two people with you today that are part of the new school.
Right. So, well, first of all, this school is interesting. Before we came on, we were talking about the pandemic. So all of the planning for this school took place during COVID. So we actually did it online, via Zoom or some virtual environment. So it's really interesting to see that you can still do that when you're not in person. But with me, I have Principal Jill Phelan and Assistant Principal Christopher Manfredi, and they are the administration here. And they started the school year being the operating two schools, Abner Gibbs and Franklin Ave, and they really did a terrific job with the merger of both schools into this brand new and wonderful building, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're so excited to be here finally.
And it's been a few months. So how's it going? Like, what do you think? I walk in here, every time I walk in here, I'm still amazed at the place.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think I walk in every morning and it's kind of like, is this real? We're here finally. And I know that, the planning for the new school took place. This has been in the works forever, even before I started in Westfield. So to finally be here and to be in the building with both schools combined, I think that's my favorite part of everything, just having everybody here together.
When did you know that you were going to be here at this elementary school? Where were you before?
I was at Highland Elementary School for 8 years.
And I was at Munger Hill Elementary and saw an opening here for a VP and thought of a new challenge.
Yeah.
Open up a new school.
So when did you know that you were going to be in charge of the new school, and how much planning time did you have once you found out to kind of move things into gear?
So I can't. It had to be right around this time last year.
I think I took you to
back
lunch.
On it. Yep, he took me to lunch, and asked if I would be interested in taking over, and it didn't feel real. Once again, I was like, for real? You joking? And then, so once I accepted that, things kind of started moving, and that's when we posted for the assistant, and
I think it was April or May?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Very lucky that Chris applied, and now he's here.
When did you actually start here? There must have been a lot of planning before you were able to move in.
Yeah, we started the year as two separate schools, and then we moved over Christmas break, so the teachers were prepared to go before that. The move happened when they were not in the buildings, and then we came back at the start of January, and the teachers had a couple of days here in the building to prepare.
January 6th was the first day for students,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then we did have a pretty awesome ribbon-cutting open house ceremony on January 18th, that was attended by hundreds. Jay Pagluca, he guesstimated 400 people here.
Wow.
And we were, it was interesting because as we started at 11, and as we're continuing and we're talking and kind of giving credit to those who need credit and talking about the building, and people just kept coming in the door. We had to pause several times to let more people in. So just really exciting. We haven't had a new school here in Westfield since 1999, and that would be at what's now Westfield Intermediate. Back then was North Middle School. So we hadn't had a new school here in 25 years. So it's pretty exciting. And it was good to see all the community, the parents, the staff come here to check out our grand opening. It was awesome. It was just a great event.
Is everything completed now, or is there still work to be done?
Well, so actually, there's more. There's phase two. I'm going to let Jill talk about it. But we were just upstairs in a classroom, actually, looking out on what they're doing where the old Franklin used to be, and they're now leveling it out for, go ahead.
Yep, they're leveling it out. We're going to have fields in the back for us. There's going to be an additional play area. So right now the only play area we have is for our pre-K and K students. So this will be first through fourth grade, a larger play area. And then there are going to be basketball courts and
I think there's going to be a softball
field. Maybe I want to say pickleball, but don't come after me if that's not true. Because
Yeah.
I know how popular pickleball is.
Has become, yeah.
So it's moving really fast, and it's just when you look at it, you can't believe just how much bigger it's going to be, but it's amazing.
The space out there, I never, because you had the old Franklin, so now I just got to see it with no building there. It's huge. It's a lot of space.
It is.
And I know they're going to be doing additional bus route or something so right now our drop off and pickup, we're doing okay with it, but it is a little challenging because of the lack of space. But that will be increased as well, so pickup and drop off and busing is going to be easier coming up too.
Yeah, it'll be 2 separate areas.
And one of the things they did is they put a stoplight near the school. Does that help with the traffic in the mornings and afternoons?
It does. And Westfield PD has just been so
Terrific.
helpful, coming out the first couple of weeks actually, and sending officers when we needed it, getting the timing of the light right. But it's really made a difference.
That light is I'm not used to it still to this day.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
And, I sometimes come to a crashing halt on my way to Westfield Tech. But now when I have guests coming to the station, I can say, well, you make your first left at the pickleball court after the light.
Yeah.
And they don't go zooming to Russell looking for Greylock Avenue. What's the most exciting thing about the new school for you that either you didn't expect or you knew about that you never had before?
I think the most exciting thing is that the students have a brand new building to go to. They're amazed to see this big building, and for so long they were at Franklin and Abner, and they have a brand new state-of-the-art building. I think that's the most exciting thing, is they have this giant, massive school.
Right, they came from the 2 oldest buildings in the district to the newest,
Yeah.
and what a transition for them. I mean, I remember the first day when they were coming, I was here, and the kids were high-fiving, fist-pumping. They were just really excited, huge smiles to be here, and they're still excited, right?
They are, and they're finding, I think the teachers and the students are finding new ways to use all the spaces that we have. We have all the grade levels are in neighborhoods, and there's community spaces in those neighborhoods, and so they're working collaboratively with other classes in there. They're tracking, some of the math intervention that we do as a grade level. So it's just been exciting to see. Like Chris said, they're so excited, and it changes every day. There's something new every day, I think, for them.
If people are listening or watching, obviously any of our listeners or viewers have never been to a school this modern as a student. What are some of the things that are unique about the learning experience here that none of us had growing up?
Well, they have their own STEM lab, which is amazing. Every time you walk in, you see students collaborating and working together on projects, and the teacher facilitating. It's a massive room too. It's double the classroom sizes of
it's a STEM innovation lab.
Yeah.
So
science,
and
technology, engineering,
and math. So we as educators are exposing our kids to careers and really high level work earlier and earlier. And so to get students interested in STEM at this level is really important for their future. But that STEM Innovation Lab will do it. So I think it's pretty great. And then right next to that is the Library Media Center. And that's pretty big, and that's used regularly.
The students have library once a week. We use it for meetings, too, so it's kind of our multi-purpose space. I think it's just every room that you go into. We have an art room. We have a music room.
We didn't have that before.
We didn't have that. I didn't grow up with that. The students have one-to-one devices. Every classroom has a touch view. We were just in a classroom this morning, and the teacher was doing the math lesson. And a lot of the curriculum now is online. And so that's hard to access if you don't have the right technology. And so they have the touch views that they're using.
A touch view is basically a computer, a big screen that you can touch the screen. I mean, they have laptops like that too, but and so anything you can do on a computer, you can do on this touch view. And what was great is they were doing math problems, and students were going up to the touch view and just writing right on it. I mean, it was just terrific. Like, I certainly didn't have. We were using chalkboards, Mark, probably back in our day.
Well, it's funny. I live near the elementary school I went to, and it's the oldest functioning school in Longmeadow. And when I drive by it and I realize how old it is, and even though they've modernized some of it, it is old. It is really old. And to see something like this is so exciting.
Abner Gibbs was built in 1914. So I don't know what about the age of the Longmeadow School, but Abner Gibbs, you could go into the basement and you could actually go to the boiler and see where they used to shovel coal in. I mean, that's how old it was. But a beautiful building, Abner. but over 100 years old. And so when you have a building that's old, you can only do so much with its capacity, right? In terms of electricity, technology, I mean, you can only handle so much. It was built for a certain amount. So you can modernize to a certain point, but, one of the challenges at Abner Gibbs was that it was never handicap accessible. So if I had a handicapped student who lived in the Abner Gibbs neighborhood, we had to send them to a different school. So this equalize, everybody can attend this school. There's no limitation. So we're really doing, I think, a service to all students that are here.
And when the playing fields are built in the back of the school, and maybe the pickleball courts, but we're not sure, can the public use that?
So it's a community school.
Right.
They're community fields. Right now we actually have the public using the gym. I think we're booked almost every night of the week with different practices and things. We have family night events that are here from the district. So I think the school in general was meant to be a community school and a place for the, everybody in the community to come together and have a place.
Yeah, it was part of our planning process because, a brand new school in the downtown area, which is what we've been searching for since 2007 when this project first started. I wasn't even in the district yet when the project started, so I came the following year. But when I think that was our purpose. So if you notice, Mark, when you walked in, right, so you have this big open space, and all the neighborhoods are tucked away so that when the building is open at night for the community, there's no access to the classrooms. There's no reason to go there. You need to use the larger spaces. And here we are, right, we're in the gym, which you said is booked forever and ever, and then we are sitting on a stage. So when there's a big performance here, this actually comes down and you can see, and the other side of us is the cafeteria. So with 400 plus students here, a concert, you might need to use both spaces.
For sure.
In order to accommodate all of the guests that you're going to have. And our concerts here are so well attended. I mean, I remember at Munger Hill when you were there, Chris, you couldn't even find parking. I mean, it was I basically had to park at
standing room only.
Standing room only, and I had to park at Westwood and walk. So it was. So this place, though, one of the things we have is a parking issue, but that will be resolved once that work is done. So we have limited parking right now, but we knew that when we moved in. But this is just probably one of our better performance spaces in the district when you think about it, and what it's capable of and the capacity of guests that it can hold.
How many students attend?
Over 410, like around 410.
Yep.
And it grows almost daily.
411 maybe.
So is that bigger in attendance than the other elementary schools in town?
Yeah, it's the biggest.
Largest.
Yep.
Largest.
Great. We've got to take a break to acknowledge the underwriters that make On the Mark and Superintendent Spotlight possible here on Westfield Community Programming 89.5 FM, WSKB, and our media partners at Agawam Media and Southwick Community Television. I'm Mark Auerbach with Stefan Czaporowski. Brady LePage is our producer today, and we'll be back after these announcements. Don't go away.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Welcome back to On the Mark and Superintendent Spotlight here on Westfield Community Programming, 89.5 FM WSKB, Agawam Media, Southwick Community Television. If you want to watch this program again or share it with friends, it's available on YouTube under WSKB Community Radio. This is a live broadcast today from the Westfield River Elementary School, Westfield's newest school, and we are sitting on the stage of the gymnasium. But if they open the curtains that you can't see in front of us, it's also the cafeteria. So they could have dinner theater or lunch theater going on, whereas at night they can have us on stage performing for a basketball practice.
Absolutely.
Or something like that. And we've got the two principals of the school who joined forces here when the school opened in January. It's the newest school in the city, and it's the first one built in over 25 years.
You're right.
What are some of the special programs that you all are going to do here at the school this spring that you couldn't do in the old schools?
Well, and before you start, I just want to talk. Both schools at the at Franklin and Abner had, and I don't know if you had this in your school, so it would be interesting, a cafegimatorium.
We had none of that kind. When I was growing up, your parents or your mothers came and picked you up and took you home for lunch.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or there was a friendly.
Imagine that.
There was a friend. My mother never cooked, so there was a friendly.
Friendlies nearby.
Yeah, she gave us pocket money for friendlies. I grew up on tuna salad.
Well, so in this school, in the other two schools, there were cafegimatoriums. So the cafeteria was the gym, but it was also the auditorium. And so now they have a separate gym space and a separate cafeteria space. So before that, you couldn't have PE classes during lunch because it was being used as a cafeteria. So if you had an assembly and you had in that, you couldn't use PE, or you couldn't have lunch because you had an assembly. So they were trying to use one space, and it just wasn't very functional. Now you have, right, a night, so you have concerts coming up and things, right? So what do you have coming up for the spring?
So in terms of school, we have our spring concert. We're actually waiting. I think it's in June. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but that's exciting because that'll be the first really big event during the school day that's happening. And those are always, like Chris said before, standing room only, very well attended. And now we'll have the space. We can open up both sides.
Right.
We also have the glass, so if people wanted to watch from up above on the bridge area, they can do that too. We have a program with the FAA going on. So they come in and every month they're coming in to do presentations to our fourth grade. And that was a real struggle when we were in the other building because they were having to cram into a classroom. And now they can come out into the community space within their neighborhood. So that's an awesome thing that we've been able to do.
Then we have safe roads, which teaches students about safe driving and how drivers should be safe, and
and how they can help their parents.
How they can
too.
help their parents.
It's
not
interesting.
use their cell phone.
Well, that's interesting. So that's one of the things that that assembly is really interesting.
Yes, it is. It's very eye-opening.
It is, but the kids get to tell their parents, drive and not be on your phone while they're driving. So, it just teaches kids responsibility in terms of, but even walking. Looking both ways and things of that nature. Or don't walk on your phone, those kinds of things. So the Safe Routes thing is pretty cool. The FAA programming, you brought that with you from Highland, right?
I did
or
not.
You did
I
not.
actually
Stole it.
I borrowed it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was being done actually at Abner Gibbs.
Right, okay.
And then Erica brought it back to Highland with her when we swapped, and now we're able to offer it to both Franklin and Abner Gibbs students as Westfield River students. So.
It's exciting because the FAA only adopts a certain number of schools for a year, and we've been selected multiple years in a row. And I believe it's because of our partnership with the FAA, but we're trying to get our students interested in aviation or STEM or any part of that, and by exposing them to that early on. Yeah. And of course, we have the aviation program at Westfield Technical Academy, so I'm sure the students will remember their work here, and when they go to decide what school they want to go to, they may pick aviation because of it. Good stuff.
Yeah, the other thing I'm excited about is we're doing a family night event on March 18th, and what we're doing is a parenting workshop in the cafeteria for the families, and then we're able to have a magician performing over here so we can have childcare, because oftentimes we find that parents don't attend these family nights because they're stuck and they don't have childcare. So just the fact that we can do that now that we have both spaces available to us right next door to each other. So I'm really excited that we're able to bring that for families.
One thing I noticed walking through the school is the amount of natural light. It's bright in here, and I never saw the other two schools before, but I just remember from my elementary school or the schools I go into, they're always so dark. And everywhere you walk here, there's incredible natural light.
Classrooms are the same way. You walk in, it's just great. It's terrific.
What kind of internet and web technology is in the classrooms for the kids?
Well, they have
go ahead.
They have their touch views. Every student has a brand new Chromebook.
So, and the internet we get is provided by Whip City Fiber. Yep. So they get the fastest that's available from Whip City Fiber, and that, of course, is on the touch views and the Chromebook. So I'm trying to look to see if there's a wireless thing in the there it is, right?
Yep.
So there are many of those, right?
Many.
You have lots of service anywhere you go. So it's pretty high tech here.
3D printers in the STEM lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling my Wi-Fi out of here somewhere. I mean, it's
I have it too, but I don't know how I got it. But hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you hope to implement here in this facility that you couldn't do in your old schools?
Now I'm really thinking. I thought you were going to start talking. I think more of the family night events, that's a big thing for me because, and Chris will say the same thing, the homeschool connection, the partnership with the families is so important in getting the students here, if we're making the parents or helping the parents be a partner in their learning. And I think having the opportunity now to provide events here at night, it is a community school. A lot of our students are bused, but a lot of our families are able to walk. So having the opportunity to have two spaces where we can offer childcare and offer something for the families, that's something that we definitely could not do before. So I'm looking forward to that. And I know that when the second half, phase 2 is done, we're going to have some outside learning areas.
Yeah, that's
so I'm really excited for the teachers to be able to start using those. We're going to have a pollinator garden, human sundial. So there's lots of different things that we're going to be able to incorporate that we would have never had access to before.
I mean, the kids, we're going to get to talk to a couple of them in the next half hour. But what are when the parents come through here and they talk to you, or you talk with the students, what are the things that amaze them the most about the building?
I think for the students, they like to be able to travel for their special. Before they were just in their room, and one can only get antsy just staying in the same spot all the time, same room. So for them to move around and to kind of take a break and take a walk to their special versus having it in the room.
Specials, Mark, would be
amazed.
like art and music,
Yep.
right? So they go to a space, and the music room is fantastic, the art room is fantastic,
awesome.
And so students will actually leave their classroom and go to that, whereas before the teacher traveled to the room. So that's, the kids. Listen, we're all, not just kids, adults too. We like to move around a little bit, right? You don't want to be sitting for 6 hours in the same space. So this gives them a little bit of a chance to move around.
What about the parents? When the parents drop the kids off or come in to pick up a kid, or they've had the guided tour, what amazes them the most? Because obviously they didn't go to a state-of-the-art school like this.
I think some of the biggest comments are just how big it is, how bright it is, and a lot of parents are commenting on the technology or how fancy they like to say. Just having them come into the school is a different process now. We buzz them through one set of doors. They have to be buzzed in a second set. So that's really different too. And
it's very secure
it's
here.
very secure. All the doors are automatic, and so that's all kind of new. And that's a lot of what they comment on, because I think that's a lot of what they see.
One of the things that amazes me is I drive by every day just about, and I didn't realize how big the school is and how far back it goes, and how the architecture and everything just fits into the neighborhood.
Oh, I love hearing that, because that was our plan when we did that.
I mean, I because I know where it is and I've been watching it I had no idea what was going up there for the longest time driving back and forth. But now that I know it's a school, it doesn't really look like a school from the front, but it looks cool, whatever it is.
I remember when it was going up and it was all pink on the outside, and people thought that it was going to be a pink school. And that was just the insulation on the outside. But, it's been a while. But I feel like the actual construction phase was pretty quick. I mean, the planning took the most amount of time, which is understandable because you want to plan a space that works for 21st century learning. But the building went up quick, right? Like a year and a half,
quick.
If that.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
A year and a half. It was pretty quick. So, typically a school project from start to finish is about a 5-year project. And so when you think back, we opened, we probably started planning in 2020. So that's about 5 years.
Yeah.
And in the planning process, did you look at other schools to see?
We did. We went on some visits to like East Hampton, some other new schools that had been opened, to see what they had done. So it was good for us to see that. I can't remember the name of a town. It begins with an H, but we went out there to see a school that had just been completed too. And so we looked at that, but then when it came to the visioning, and we had parents on board too, I mean, it was a big visioning committee. We wanted to develop a space or a school that included breakout spaces, so that and so Jill was talking about community spaces, but if you see the classrooms, there's breakout spaces, so a small group of kids could go outside the classroom to work on a project, right? Or multiple classes could collaborate as well. And so the neighborhoods are like, so fourth grade has 4 fourth grade classrooms, and they're all in the same area, and they can all work in together and collaborate. And collaboration is clearly a key skill set in today's day and age, and one of our Portrait of the Graduate things too. But so it's important to be able to teach kids to work together, because as we know, Mark, as when you're in the world working, and you too, we have to work together. So getting kids that skill very early is important. You know, the other thing, the planning process, you would think, but like even the colors were picked through all that process, right? So, but so not just the design of the school itself, but even the, you know, the front entryway, which I think is beautiful, with the you know, the overhang, right? That, or what do you call that when people walk in? But
I always call it a portico when people look at me like that.
Yeah, that's the term. But when I walked in, and this is my first time in the school.
what did you think?
I was like, well, at first, I mean, it is very open and very spacious and very well lit, and it's modern. You know, that's the first thing, because I'm used to going into schools and they're old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting here. You know, you walk into most of our schools, and they'll have something when you walk in, on a whiteboard maybe, like a chart with chart paper, and they welcome something. Here you have a television or a screen that welcomes you to Westfield River Elementary. You go to the cafeteria. The lunch for the month is that the menu is up there.
There's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them. You know, even the cafeteria is something you don't typically see. We have sinks in the cafeteria, right, to be able to, or
Right outside.
right outside of the cafeteria, so kids can wash their hands after they eat. But most schools you have to go to the bathroom. So it's designed with today's child in mind and today's learning environment. So, you know, it's interesting. You come here and then you go into one of our other schools and you're like, the design school is different. You know, our newest elementary schools are Munger Hill and Paper Mill. And when you walk into those schools, and they were built in 1991, you walk into this big open space and the office is far away. Here, the office is the first thing you interact with. And you don't have to get past those second doors if you're just dropping off a lunch for a kid, or they forgot something for school and the parent or mother or father has to come in, or guardian, someone bring in something for them. They don't actually have to enter the school. They can do it right there. And the secretary, you have a great secretary, Teresa Alling. I'm going to shout her out for what she does, and she's just, you know, the heartbeat of the school too. So this is a great place to be. And every time I come here, I leave a little bit happier.
We're going to take another break to acknowledge our underwriters, and we'll be back with more programming from the stage at the gym at the brand new Westfield River Elementary School. I'm joined today with Stefan Czaporowski, who hosts Superintendent Spotlight. This program will air on his program, and Jill Phelan and Chris Manfredi, who are the principal and assistant principal here at the school. Brady LePage is our chief engineer today, and our crew comes from Westfield Technical Academy. They're students of Stephen Forney, and they're learning broadcast and graphic arts and all kinds of communication skills. We'll be back after these announcements. Don't go away.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Welcome back to On the Mark and Superintendent Spotlight here on Westfield's Community Programming, 89.5 FM WSKB, and our media partners at Southwick Community Television and Agawa Media. I'm one of your hosts, Mark Auerbach. I'm here with Jill and Chris from Westfield River Elementary School. They are the principal and co-principal, and they brought with us a couple of students today to talk about their experiences here in a brand new school. Why don't you introduce yourself? What's your name?
Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
I'm Dean.
Hi. What grade are you in?
I'm in third.
And you're in third and
I'm in fourth.
in fourth. What's it like coming to a new school like this?
It was a big change at first,
Where did you go before?
Abner Gibbs.
Okay. What was the big change?
Just going from a small little old school to a brand new huge school.
And what about for you?
It was just, it was like a big change too from going to a small school.
Before the first day in the new school, did you get a chance to drive by or walk by and see it being built?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you walked in did you get a tour before the school opened?
Yes.
Yes.
And what did you think as you watched the building go up? Once you came to school, did it meet your expectations or was it a surprise?
It was a little bit of a surprise for me.
It was big, so it was, a surprise.
What's different about this school from your old school?
A lot more kids and a lot more teachers.
It's very big and definitely more classrooms.
And there's more, from what I've seen, there's more space to wander around and it's brighter and it's lighter.
Yes.
Did your teachers come with you from the old school?
Yes.
And you went to different schools before. Did you know a lot of the people when school started? Did you know a lot of people from the other elementary school, or did you meet a lot of new people?
I met a lot of new people.
Yeah, we met a lot of people.
So now you have a new group of friends, or you basically your old friends?
We're in the same classroom, so.
Oh, so you go to school every day with your old class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have a chance to intermingle during the course of the school day with the new people?
Yeah, at lunch and recess.
Yeah. How much recess do you get?
Like 10 minutes.
That's not enough, is it?
No.
20.
Yeah. And is the food?
It feels like 10.
Yeah. Is the food better here in this cafeteria?
Yeah, I would say the grilled cheeses are better.
The what?
The grilled cheese are better.
Okay. And what about for you?
Yeah, it's definitely way better.
What about after-school things? I mean, this is a state-of-the-art gym, and you've got a library and media stuff and things like that. And I understand that you have a music room and all kinds of computers and stuff that you didn't have at the old school. What are some of the things, if you had met somebody and they were going to come to this school next year as a student, what are the things that you'd want to show them that you think are really cool about this school?
The gym and the STEM room.
What's a STEM room?
It's basically the technology room, but like OP.
Yeah, because a lot of people that are listening today are your parents or grandparents' age, and they think a STEM is something that grows out of the ground.
No.
Right? They don't know what STEM is. What about for you?
I would say the gym and the library.
What about the library? What's cool about that?
Because we get all brand new books and different chairs to sit in, and different shelves and all that kind of stuff.
What are some of the after-school things that you can do here that you couldn't do in your old school?
I guess like the YMCA has a lot more kids, so it's better.
Definitely come in the gym and practice like basketball, since I play sports. So.
How after fourth grade, you go to a middle school, right? So middle school is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th?
So it's we have intermediate school, which is 5th and 6th grade, and then the middle school, which is 7th and 8th. So they'll spend 2 years at the intermediate and then move up to the middle. So Amelia will be going next year to Westfield Intermediate School.
So you'll never get to, in Westfield, you'll never get to go to a new school that's as new as this one.
Yeah.
What are the things that you miss about an old school? I mean, there's certainly memories that you took away from it. Are there some things that you miss when you're here at the new school?
No.
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 Yeah. You have a brand new elementary school sweatshirt here. Did everybody get one when they came to start school?
No, you had to buy them.
You had to buy them. Okay. And does the school teams and things, do they have a name yet?
What are their names? Do you remember?
Rocky and Splash.
So our mascots are Rocky and Splash. We don't have school teams in terms of sports teams, if that's what you're talking about, but we do have the Westfield youth teams. A lot of them practice here. Amelia practices here on Mondays with her team.
Yeah.
This is our mascot. 2 mascots.
Oh, wow.
They're otters.
I don't know. Can you pick that up from the camera? And I see it on all kinds of things, so that's really very cool. Tell me one thing that you'd like the audience that's listening or watching this to know about Westfield River Elementary School that they don't know.
There's a lot of good people here.
There's a lot of different cool people and different cool equipment to use.
So what's some of the equipment that you have here that you never had before?
Well, we have breakout rooms now. So they're like these little areas that we can go and we can work quietly in different tasks to do.
And when you go outside for your recess, I know they're building behind the school. They're building all playing fields and things like that. Do you have a better place to hang out here than you did in your old elementary school?
Not at the time, no.
Not yet.
Not yet, but soon.
Yeah.
In terms of going to the gym or going to the cafeteria or your breakout rooms, is your school day different here than it was in your old school?
I mean, there's a lot of different stairways you can take, like shortcuts to get places, but other than that, not really.
Not really.
Yeah, just our schedule, just like our specials at different days. So, yeah, that's it.
And all the teachers that were at your old school came with you to the new school, but are you meeting different teachers now because there were teachers from the schools you didn't go to?
Yes. Yeah.
These 2 students that you brought with you today are so articulate, and you're very, very good representatives of the Westfield River Elementary School. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be modest, Dean.
Yeah, don't be modest. You guys are great. I'm sure your parents and your relatives and friends of your parents ask you what it's like to go to a new school. When you were told, and I don't know when you found out, that you were going to start at this school in January of this year, what ideas did you have about coming here that changed once you walked in the door?
I guess at first it was sad leaving, but now it's like, okay, this is way better than my old school.
And what about you?
Yeah, like it was very small, and our old school was we didn't have a lot of people on our old school, but now it's better.
What happened to your old schools?
Ours is still up.
Which one was that?
Abner.
Abner, and
I just got knocked down.
you just got knocked down. Did it seem weird when you saw the school get knocked down?
Yeah.
So you have certain memories that you took away from it, and that you won't be able to walk by that building anymore, but they're up here in your head.
Yeah.
But you know what's going up at the side of that old school. So that
Yes.
must be cool.
Yeah.
And for you, do you ever walk by the old school and think, wow, I'm in a better place now?
Not that often now.
Okay. And again, if there's one place, if a friend of yours that doesn't go to this school or a relative that didn't go to the open house or something like that, if they were going to come to visit you after school on a day when visitors were allowed, what 2 places would you take them to?
Probably the music room and definitely the gym.
Did you have a music room in your old school?
Yes.
Was it as good as the one here?
No.
Okay. And what's different about the gym from your old school?
It was more small, and we only had 2 basketball hoops, and we didn't use them a lot because we would have the cafeterias, because we'd have to share them, cafeteria and the gym, so we would have the tables there.
Oh, so you couldn't play basketball during lunch?
No.
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 Right. And what about for you?
same with her. We had 2 basketball hoops, and the cafeteria shared the gym. Yeah.
That's amazing. I wish I had had this experience. My elementary school is still standing, and it's still an elementary school, and it was built, I think, in the 1920s. And the kids that go there today, or that are friends, I'm friends with their parents, say it's falling apart, and the roofs leak, and they installed internet technology, but it doesn't hit all of the classrooms and things like that. But you're so lucky to be able to go to a brand new school.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here to acknowledge our underwriters that make this program possible, and I want to thank both of you for coming on the air today. And you'll be able to watch this along with you can share it with your friends, share it with your parents, and everything, because it'll be on YouTube under WSKB Community Radio. So I hope you get a chance to watch it, and thanks for coming on the program. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to take another break to acknowledge our underwriters that make programming here possible on Westfield Community Programming, 89.5 FM WSKB, and our media partners at Agawam Media and Southwick Community Television. I'm Mark Auerbach from Westfield Community Programming. My co-host today is Stefan Czaporowski, who's the superintendent of the Westfield Public Schools. Our crew today are juniors and seniors from Westfield Technical Academy, working under the direction of Stephen Forney, and our producer is Brady LePage, who works for Westfield Community Programming and who's a senior at Westfield Technical Academy. Don't go away.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every 4th Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio, 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Welcome back to On the Mark TV Radio and Superintendent Spotlight TV and Radio, a combined show today. I'm Mark Auerbach with Stefan Czaporowski, who's the superintendent of the Westfield Public Schools. We are broadcasting this program from the Westfield River Elementary School. It is the newest elementary school in Westfield on Franklin Avenue, and it's just a great place to be. We're joined today by Jill Phelan and Chris Manfredi, who are the principal and associate principal here at the school. And first of all, thank you to you and your team for letting us broadcast 3 programs here from the stage at the gym at the school. It's also state of the art. It's amazing.
It is.
And the bright lights, we didn't bring any additional lighting with us.
You didn't have to.
We don't have to. It's got natural lighting, beautiful floors, maybe one scuff out there, but it means a lot of kids are playing basketball.
They are.
They love it.
It was great
basketball.
to hear. So I was sitting on the side listening to the kid responses, and one of the things that, that they brought up that I had mentioned earlier is that they get to play basketball even though lunch is happening now. It's the little things that mean a lot to the kids, and those kids were terrific. So thank you for bringing them on. I always think it's interesting to get a perspective of really, I don't want to say customer, but they're our customer, right? I mean, so it's good to see that they're happy here.
They are happy.
They like it.
And they're very talkative.
We did that intentionally. I mean, we picked a couple of our chatty friends, but we knew that they would be willing to do this.
A question that people always ask me to ask guests, or especially when they're teachers, what made you decide to go into teaching?
And Jill taught math, right?
No.
What were you?
I did everything.
You were an elementary teacher. You did everything.
Yep. I started off, I did not intend to be a teacher. I actually was going to do child psychology, and then did an internship in a preschool, and that's actually how I landed my first job. So then I helped open a private preschool, and I worked there. I had the pre-K students, and then I moved to kindergarten, and then second grade, and then administration.
And new in this building, which we didn't have at Abner and Franklin, are 2 preschool classrooms. So I actually got to visit one before the show started. These kids are great. They're just so happy all the time.
Yes,
but
they are.
so this school is now, whereas Franklin and Abner were K to 4, this school is pre-K to 4. So we added 2 teachers, 2 paras, and 2 classrooms of kids, right?
30 students.
30 students. So we have preschool here. It's great.
And what did you get? What made you go into teaching?
I just wanted to make a difference in the lives of students, and just took off from there. I taught 5th grade in Ludlow at East Street Elementary School, and I actually still stay in touch with a lot of the students. They're now in their mid-30s to 40. Not that I'm that old, but
Yeah, but you were a child teacher, right?
Yes,
yeah, just very young. Yeah, and then became an administrator in 2002, and I really haven't looked back.
What are the
Love my
challenges? What are the challenges of being an administrator in a school in today's world?
You know, I think everything is changing, right? Education is one of those fields that is always changing. And so it's really important that Chris and I keep up with everything as best we can so that we can help our staff keep up and we can help our families understand the changes. You know, I know we've all kind of talked about the schools that we used to be in, and things are very, very different now. And I know as a parent myself, like my daughter comes home with 8th grade math and I can't touch it with a 10-foot pole, just because it's so different and it's not, you know, it's not my field. So I have to relearn things so that I can help her. So I think that's probably one of our biggest challenges.
You know,
Changed.
the technology that is available, you can't keep up with it now. And, you know, AI is now starting to have a big impact on education. And I don't think we've even touched the surface of it, Mark. You know, I think, you know, also our schools really are microcosms of society. So what we see are the same problems that are occurring in society, but in our schools and how they affect our students. Probably more than ever, with the availability of information, so it's at your fingertips, literally. You know, I think we see the impacts in our schools more often than we certainly used to. You know, news travels faster than ever before.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, one of the teachers on we're broadcasting 3 shows from here, and the next 2 shows will be with musicians from Westfield High School. And one of the teachers said, when you chat with the students, don't bring up politics because it impacts them to such a great degree. And I realize how it impacts me as an adult. Are your students immune to some of the things that we're dealing with every day? Or do you want to keep them as kids for a while? Or are they as aware as we are of what's going on in our world?
I would say a little both, right?
Yeah, I think they're in tune. Technology is right in front of them, and they see it on the news and all these apps. And
you know, Mark, when we were kids,
they're
and Chris,
privy to it.
Jill's younger than all of us, so I'm going to give her that.
Not that
But-
much. No, thanks.
sorry.
But we would watch the news when we got home, right? The 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news. And now it's coming to the kids, it's coming to everybody on technology as it happens, right? I mean, some people, and not our students, but have alerts on their phones, right? If for the news to the top story. I had those at one time and turned them off, but because it's distracting. But it's just so readily available, and I think it does affect our kids. And so you're right. Politics is a little more taboo than it used to be in terms of a topic of discussion.
Yeah, and you still, I would assume you still want kids to be kids. You know, we all grow up too fast. And I realized what I knew in 7th and 8th grade compared to what a 7th and 8th grader knows about the world today. I was very sheltered as a kid.
Yes, I think we all were.
You know, I didn't know what was going on in the headlines. I didn't have access to it in school. We could go, there was no internet. So, you know, if I wanted to learn something, I had to go to the library in town. And the school library wasn't very good. And so anything I wanted to learn either was at the library or what was very closely monitored by my parents. And today kids don't need their parents to find out what's going on because they all have phones, laptops, and tablets.
I miss those old days.
Yeah.
Taking the bike out into the, neighborhood, and parents knowing you're going to be back for dinner, and
you have to be home when the street lights are on. That was
that was the rule. That was the rule.
They were not texting to tell you to come home.
No.
Exactly.
And I think that's a big difference, and I think we do work hard to let them be kids, but we have to keep up with what the state wants us to teach them, and then what they already know, and we're working to, I think, just make them good citizens. And I think that's a lot of what the staff works on with them, and a lot of what we work on with them, a lot of problem solving too, because those things they come up naturally because of what they have access to and what they're seeing.
And today's problem's a little more complicated, too.
They sure are.
Brought on by technology, let's be fair. I think that there's pluses and minuses with technology. And we all love the pluses, but sometimes it's the minuses that take up more of our time.
I want to thank you both for being here today. We're out of time. And thanks to your staff for letting us come here and broadcast 3 programs from the stage of the gym at the Westfield River Elementary School. I've got a lot of people, a lot of production credits here to bring up before we end the program. First of all, Brady LePage is our producer today, and Peter Coles at Westfield Community Programming is our executive producer. I want to again thank the staff of the Westfield River Elementary School, and our production team today is from Westfield Technical Academy. Their teacher is Steve Forney, and the crew are all seniors: Bry Lepto, Sam Morse, Morgan Chafee, Aaron Reed, Braden Wilkie, and Mars Bowes. And we're going to end today with music from the new Broadway musical Boop. The Broadway musical in the chorus of Boop is Joshua Burridge, who's a Westfield native and a graduate of the music programs at Westfield High School.
Excellent.
We'll see you next week with Superintendent Spotlight and On the Mark.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, fellas, key of G. Wait, you're saying who is she? Hey, there, New York town. Put your ears on and let's burn this bandstand. I'm not from here, local legend like some here. Yeah, but now that I've come here, it's where I wanna be. Love that music you're playing, got me stopping and swaying. You can go, but I'm staying, it's where I wanna be. Let me hear some Louis Armstrong licks, bassy boogie in the mix. Fat Cat Cataway for kicks, and leave some room for me. I said leave some room for me. Goodness, Dwayne, you've gotta stop gushing. Now I'm blushing. Oh, gee.